A golden retriever just came running up behind me and scared the bejiminies out of me for a second. I didn't know if it was a deer trying to attack me or what. Nope, just a real big floofy dog. Happy Transfer Tuesday, the day of the week where you can just have a little friendly reminder to check in with your finances, see if there's any money you can move to savings, debt pay down, whatever moves the needle towards your goals. That is so pretty, so pretty. I only made one money move over the last week, but it was a pretty big one. As you guys are probably aware, I did a challenge in the month of November to make more in side work or gig work than I spent for the month in variable expenses. And simultaneously, I also made more from my W-2 job than I really expected to this past month. So between those two things, it allowed me to set some extra savings aside for my homestead fund. The homestead fund was at $136.11 the last time we checked in. And as I mentioned, because I covered most of my variable expenses with side work and had a higher W-2 income than expected, I was able to set aside $1,000 and add that to the homestead fund, which brings it up to $1,136.11. There's a little bit more in there now because the end of the month has passed and it gained its high yield interest. But that is so awesome. That was a huge savings that I was definitely not planning on having this month by any means. And then speaking of that side work income, that was quite a bit higher than it has been in prior months because I made it a priority to do so. But there was also a really big contributor to that income that I forgot to mention 2 weeks ago. And Carol, please forgive me. You guys, Carol sent me $100 through Venmo back on November 17th. And she said it was my choice, but it was either, for homestead or to cover the cat's more expensive prescription food that they're on now. And I completely forgot to mention it on that Transfer Tuesday. So, Carol, I am so sorry. I even referenced it last week. And that's what made me think of it, because after I referenced it in last Tuesday's video, when I was editing it, I was like, wait a minute. Did I even mention that? And I went back and watched the week before, and I did not. So I'm sorry about that. Sometimes things slip through the cracks, but that was a pretty big thing to slip through. But Carol, you absolutely made a big impact on my side income for November, and therefore my ability to save so much this month. So thank you so much. Thank all of you guys for showing up and caring about my life and watching my videos and supporting me. It means so much. But yeah, that addition to my homestead fund was the only money move I made over the last week. But I do have a rental property update for you guys that I've been putting off because I wasn't necessarily sure what the heck was happening. So let's just stop for a second. Really, the latest milestone on getting the tenant out of the rental property situation was supposed to be November 18th was going to be the day he was going to move out, because just to recap, he has not paid rent since September. And I know so many people have been saying just file the eviction, because I was definitely legally past the point of being able to do so sometime around mid-October. And he's just been chronically late the entire time he's lived there. But filing an eviction, I just was so very much trying to avoid that. I tried to offer him cash for keys just to move out, and he kept saying, no, I'm going to get caught up on the rent. I want to stay. And of course, it was just one excuse after another. But the 18th had come and gone, and he didn't move out. And then the next week, it was, I forget exactly what happened, but It took me a little bit to come to terms with being okay with saying to them, okay, go ahead and start filing the eviction, because that process can just be so damn long and so damn expensive. So I was trying so hard to avoid it and hoping he would just leave. Early last week, before Thanksgiving, I had finally come to terms with it, and I kind of had to just let go of the outcome as far as how long of a process it was going to take to go through the court and actually get the judge to file an eviction to get him to get out, as well as all of the legal fees that would come with that, because the property management team is there on my behalf, and then obviously there's a lawyer, and who knows how long that takes. They had no way of giving me a ballpark on time frame or cost for this kind of thing, which I totally get, but of course I was going to ask because I've never dealt with this before. You know, other than in my insane amount of research that I did before I even bought the property and got into real estate investing, because it's definitely not something I did ignorantly. So I knew ballpark of really how long it might take, and well, the cost, I mean, I can kind of ballpark, I guess, but also, like, what are the prices these days? I probably don't even want to know. So, you know, tens of thousands of dollars anyway, I figured, at the very least. And probably a few months. I don't know, worst case scenario, 6 months, a year? I have no idea. So it took me a couple days to really come to terms with being okay with signing up for that. Property management team charges me $900 just to file the eviction. So, like, obviously the eviction was the sensible choice and had to be done, but was very, very, very hesitant to do so. But like I said, I came to terms with it, and right before Thanksgiving, I said, okay, you know, let's file, please, start this process. And the property management team got back to me and said, I forget what she said. She just had to check on something to make sure that we could start the process. And I wrote back and I was like, what could possibly be holding up the process now? And she did not get back to me, because I'm assuming by that point she had clocked out for Thanksgiving holiday. I knew I wasn't going to hear from anyone over the holiday weekend. So yesterday I got an email response finally, and the property management team said that they had talked to the tenant right before Thanksgiving, and he told them that he had moved out, but they didn't have anyone on staff that could go over and confirm that the house was vacant. So they couldn't tell me for sure over the holiday weekend, which is why she didn't reply to me. But then, you know, Monday came and they were able to check and for sure verified it's empty. But of course, as we all expect, it's a complete mess. It is so gross, so gross. Oh my God, it's gonna cost tens of thousands of dollars to clean it up, because I suspect, if I remember correctly, that's pretty much what it looked like when I bought it, when I spent $12,000 to clean it and fix it and get it ready for tenants. So here we go again, I guess. I don't know. And I guess there's always the argument of sell it like that and just take the money off the price. Someone will bought it just like you did, but or there's, you know, try and clean it and fix it up and get as much for it as you can out of the sale. So we'll see what happens. I just got the video yesterday afternoon, so we'll see what the game plan is, because I just want to get it on the freaking market as fast as possible and get rid of the damn thing and be done with it. But yeah, that's everything I know at this point. I could certainly gripe about how much it's going to cost to clean and how irritating it is, but absolutely not. I saved tens of thousands of dollars in legal fees and all the bullshit that comes with the eviction and the more time lost. Holy crap. Whew, I am so freaking relieved. And like I said, I was half expecting him to leave it a mess. That does suck, but what are you gonna do? Nothing. nothing, and just not do it again. 0 out of 10. Do not recommend long distance real estate investing. I'm just kidding. It works for some people. It's just not my jam. So let's be done with it and move on. I'm so relieved. I got so freaking lucky that he moved out. Wow, like that. It's kind of big news in my financial space, I guess. So that's worth mentioning on Transfer Tuesday, because wow. Whew, thank goodness. I cannot wait to just move on. Oh man. Sell that thing and add a whole bunch more to the homestead fund and start that process. That is what we need to focus on. 'Cause yes. So close. So close. Thank you guys so much for being here, for watching. As always, please feel free to let me know down in the comments what money moves you guys have made towards your financial goals. I'll see you again very soon. Bye.